Hello and welcome to Ouroboros Automotive. My name is Logan, and today what we are going to be doing is a real quick repair for our Jeep XJ. So anyone with a Jeep XJ knows that the 4-liter inside of it generates a tremendous amount of heat. It was never actually meant to be in that engine compartment, so we end up with a lot of problems with heat soak and other related issues like trying to get the heat out of the engine bay, overheating issues, too hot of air into your intake. So one of the things we're going to figure out today is the fuel line. So the fuel line that runs from the side of your frame rail up to your the side of your frame rail up to your fuel rail has a tendency that eventually the rubber is going to degrade and it's going to crack and it's going to come apart. So you figure out, you go out one day and you realize you got fuel all over the ground and you're like, all right, we're just going to run over to the auto parts store and pick up OE fuel line. Well, they don't make it anymore. Not even on Rock Auto. So what you end up having to do is make your own fuel line, which is actually incredibly easy for these things. What I did was I picked up some Eaton fuel line, which is rated at 400 PSI and 5/16 quick disconnect, as well as injector clamps. And I will link all of the part numbers in the description below. The quick disconnects were $10 a pop. Whole pack of injector clamps were, I believe, $5. And the fuel line itself was actually the hefty portion at $15. So this is actually at 3 feet long. You only need about 2.5 feet, but I wanted to make it longer just in case something were to happen and I need to cut it down on a trail or something like that. I have the ability to. I also went with the nylon wrapped fuel line because last year when I did this, I used standard fuel line and the heat ended up getting to the line so badly that it has already started cracking to degrade and starting to create a small fuel leak. So let's put it together. All you have to do is install fuel line. Well, nope. Install clamp, fuel line, or fuel connector. This is a 7mm nut driver. Ta-da! And we're going to do the other one. There you go. It's done. Fuel line. So let's go throw this on the Jeep and that'll be it.
Okay, so this is the first time that I've actually tried to use this shoulder mount in order to show what I'm doing, but we're gonna see how it goes. So what we're working with right here is this is where the line is that I'm talking about. And you might be able to see the amount of dry rot and everything like that from this hose that I created last year. That's the problem we're going to try to solve today. And you can actually see where, you might be able to see where the fuel is actually dripping down onto the intake, which is something that I really need to get taken care of, obviously. So what I'm going to do is take the cap off of my Schrader valve on my fuel rail right here and put on some iPro. I'm going to cover this with a rag, and with a small flathead screwdriver I am going to press down on this Schrader valve so that I can depressurize the fuel rail. All right, and once you have fully depressurized the fuel rail, you may need to use these tools in order to actually remove the quick disconnect fitting up here. Depending on how old your line is and if it's OE, this little plastic retainer might just be seized up on there and it might take some effort. But all these do is you take them out, you find the right size, you'll clip it around the fuel rail and push down on it. Luckily, since I've just recently done mine, I should just be able to push against here. Oh, of course, since I say it should be easy, it's going to disagree with me today. All right, so that was easy enough, and then she just pulls right off like that. And so then we'll push her down this way, and I will show you where the frame rail connection is. Oh. Ignore the sheer amount of rust that's underneath this thing. I know I need to get floor pans, but if you look, that is where the connection is right here. And we're just going to do the same exact thing we did up above, and we're going to push it back. This one might require my tools due to the fact of the placement of it. It doesn't really seem to want to fall back the way it needs to. No, there it goes. It released. And there goes the fuel. And this, kids, is why you wear eye protection. Yay! Hopefully Mr. GoPro's doing all right. So, yep, this is why we wear eye pro. So, now all we have to do is fish out the old line and install the new line. Too easy. All right, and after that, all you have to do is start it up and let it idle. It might take a second. Let the vehicle prime since you didn't have, or since you unplugged the fuel system, and then just check for leaks, which, no leaks. Go up under here, and no leaks, at least not fuel leaks. I'm leaking everything else, but no fuel leaks. So, and so there you go. It wasn't that complicated. Cost about $30–40 worth of parts, pair of side cuts, flathead screwdriver. The quick release tools do help for ones that are seized on, but if you have recently done it or worked on your vehicle recently, it's not that difficult and you don't particularly need them. But thank you guys for tuning in this week. I hope you guys learned something, and as always, like, share, subscribe, all those fun things. I do have wonderful new Ouroboros Automotive shirts available. I'll leave a link in the description on how to order them. These are actually able to be personalized for your Jeep with your body designation, your year, and your serial. So it is for you and only you. But thanks again for tuning in. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Bye.